This shelf is not organized, but here's another one of my most favorite books. Farley Mowat, Veronica, The Passion of D.M. Fossey. Mr. Reed, if you're out there, grade 8 teacher, yes, I did steal it from class, but I've loved it and read it millions of times and recommended it, and I would return it if I wasn't so embarrassed. But this had me interested in Rwanda long before I was aware of the massacre, the Rwandan massacre, and then that later initiated my deep interest in the Rwandan genocide and later genocide as a whole. So this was very inspiring for me, and I used to think I'd be trekking off to Rwanda, but my life has not gone that way. Some various books that I've gotten into, and yes, I have read the Teaching. I can't say it. I'm just not going to say any of these names. Yeah, I was looking into Wicca. I would recommend Witchcrafting. It was actually a really good, interesting book to read. Authentic Passion, a very good book. Why Religion Matters was good. The Art of War, very interesting. Why God Won't Go Away, When Things Fall Apart. But my favorite book, this is my Bible. And if you haven't read this, and you are a woman, I recommend you read it. Women Who Run with the Wolves, Myths and Stories of the Wild Woman Archetype. It is completely amazing. She uses brief fairy tales and totally... it's just amazing. I can't even describe it. Just look it up. Within every woman there lives a powerful force filled with good instincts, passionate creativity, and ageless knowing. She is the wild woman, who represents the instinctual nature of women. Now, it may sound like hogwash, all those books that are, trying to sell you on changing your life and blah, blah, blah. This book literally can make changes in your thoughts. Like, if I was to start reading this again, I would immediately start feeling more empowered and more in tuned again. It immediately makes a difference. It's so worn. If I could, I would buy a copy of it for everyone I know. It is my #1 favorite book, and as I said, it's my Bible now, which I should refer to it more often. Speaking of Bibles, I was quite into religion when I was growing up. I was in the Christian faith, and then I was quite a fundamentalist, but I thought and I'd read the Bible several times over, like more than a dozen times through, and understood and asked questions and kept trying to learn as I went along, which eventually led to too many questions. And so about the age of 17 or so, I turned away and was lost for a bit, and now I'm not of any faith, but I love studying religions and understanding why. And anyway, history is an interest of mine. Religions, sex, history, astronomy. This is a stick. Now I got really into cults interested, and I'm not meaning to offend anyone, but there's quite a lot of Jehovah's Witness literature. Seriously, this is all my documentation disputing all their stuff. But the thing is, at the same time, if you're going to be religious, I did admire that they actually study their Bible. There is some word translations, but hello, the main Bible is all messed up. And let's not even get into the whole topic about Bibles to begin with. Though I'm not denying anyone you can believe in whatever you want, and if it gives you strength and adds to your life and makes it better, then so be it. As long as you're not hurting anybody, why can't you believe in whatever you want to believe? That's what I think. But actually, to study each day, if I was still into this, if I was still connected to people who gave me this, I think it would add to my life. For my sort of personality, it's good. But that's also the badness. Fanatical. It can be too fanatical. I'm not quite sure what to do with this stuff. This I was started to read, and I know it's very popular with Christians. The guys made lots of money on this book. But I was reading it, and I didn't even get very far in it, and he was already saying disputable things that were actually in the Bible, and he wasn't referring to the Bible. I was sort of like, okay, whatever happened to studying the Bible if you're supposed to be, a church or whatever. Anyway, whatever. This is the other thing. I am like a peace-loving hippie, but I am fascinated by war, conflict. I read a lot of war-related books. So here, these are not obviously those. These are some various books. Oh, I recommend Homecoming. That was another one. Cynthia Voigt. That's a classic one. I think I related to it very well because I ran away when I was a kid. Oh, Sark. You can't go without Sark. This should be at the top shelf. Sark. Succulent Wild Woman. I also have Living Juicy. Look up Sark online. See, these shelves aren't done yet. And same with these. These are a whole bunch of, like I read Middlesex. I definitely recommend it. I just finished it. That was another one Gwen gave me. And Girl with the Pearl Earring, I read that. Another fantastic book. This one I got on my own. Canadian writer, Unearthed as It Is. These were short stories. Just amazing. I read it. And it was funny because I was reading about, he was writing about Kensington Market and areas of Toronto. And I was reading it while I was in Toronto. And that was really neat. And I read The Stone Diaries. And The Time Traveler's Wife apparently is being made into a movie. Very awesome book. Chuck. Yes, of course I like him. Fight Club. And Wicked was another one of my favorite books. I loved that book. And yeah, some classics. Charlotte's Web. And The Trumpet of the Swan. Does anyone remember E.B. White's Trumpet of the Swan? Yeah, some spy books and anthropology and psychology. Organizational behavior. I love organizational behavior. I was a union rep. Sorry, I'm making a mess. But organizational behavior is so fascinating to me now. I don't want to be in management, but I understand quite a bit of it. And when I took a course, I had a 94 in it. And that was not with giving my full effort. I just caught on to a lot of stuff. Okay, and then before we end with books, there's one more thing.